Okay, I'll be cutting the upper part of this dress. I've cut out the front and the back part together. You can see it here. This is the front and this is the back. Both of them are on fold. And I left about 1 inch allowance at the back part because I'll be using it, even though I won't be putting a zip on it, but I'll be using this back part to, I'll be splitting it open, okay, so that I can stitch it back. I left about 1 inch there. You can leave half. I folded this fabric with my hip measurement because the blouse is going to extend down to the hip area. So I folded it with my hip measurement. I'm working with a hip of 40 divided by 4 is 10. Here's my 10 and I added about 2 to 3 inches seam allowance. You can add 2, you can add 3. And then here's my starting point. From this starting point, I'm going to take my chest line measurement. My chest line is 8.5. Here's my chest line. After which I'll take my underbust. I'm working with an underbust of 14 inches and followed by my half length of 17 inches. After which I'll take my hip line, of 23 inches and I have about 2 inches seam allowance. You can leave one if you want. So on this chest line measurement, I'm going to take my bust measurement. My bust is 38. 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. Here's 9.5. And I'll be adding 2 inches to it to get 11.5. Then at the underbust, I'll be taking my underbust circumference measurement. My underbust is 34. 34 divided by 4 is uh 8.5. 34 divided by 4 is 8.5 plus 2 inches seam allowance is 10.5. And then I'll take my half length measurement. At the half length, I'll be taking my waist measurement. I'm working with a waist of 34 as well to get 10.5. And then at the lower part here, I'll be taking my hip measurement. I'm working with a hip measurement of 40 divided by 4 is 10 plus 2 inches seam allowance. I have 12. So I'm connecting these lines right away. Sorry. This is what I have. All right. At the upper part here, I'll take my shoulder measurement. I'm working with a shoulder of 15. 15 divides 2, you get 7.5. I'll be adding 1 inch to it to get 8.5. And here is my chest line of 8.5. I'll connect it. All right. And then I'll connect this one too. But let me measure 8.5 so that I'll get a straight line here. So here's my 8.5. I'll simply connect my armhole. I don't need to make it curvy because I don't need to extend it with 0.5 or 0.75 as we normally do because this is a free top. So it doesn't require much details. Right now, I'll take my neckline measurement. I'm working with a neckline of 3.5. The back neckline is going to be different from the front neckline. So I'll be using about 1.5 for the back neckline and I'll use about 3.5 for the front neckline. So here's the back neckline and here's the front neckline. Connect the back. Now also connect the front. But the front neckline has an extended neck. So what I'll do, I'll measure about 1 inch from here, and then I'll extend it with about, we already have 3.5. I'll extend it with about 2 inches. So from this 1 inch here, I'll connect it down like this. So here's what I need. Then I'm going to take my slant for my shoulder. My shoulder slant is 1 inch slanted. I'll also add allowance for this shoulder. Can add allowance of half an inch all the way. Then I'll connect it as well. Right? So that's all for the upper part, and then the lower part. You can give it a curve if you want. So to curve it, I may decide to come up by 3 inches or 3.5 inches, and then from there you just connect it, just create your curve just like this. So this is it. I'll be cutting it now, and this is all for the upper part. I've cut it out, both the front and the back parts. I've cut them out. I've cut out the armhole, the neckline. I cut it at the point of 1.5 inch, as in the length. The back neckline is what I first cut out. Okay, so after doing this, I'm going to remove this back, but before that, I'll notch out the zip or my seam allowance. Notch it out. I'll be splitting this back open. So I'll notch it out, and then I'll take off this back part. I'm done with the back. Now for the front, I'm going to recreate this uh, neckline. So I'll be cutting it again, just like this. So here's what I have for the front. Here's what I have for the front. Here's my front, and here is the back. I'll split open the back. So here's the back part. So I'll be cutting the sleeve now. Okay, we want to cut the sleeve of this cloth, the blouse. To make this sleeve, you can see it's a funnel sleeve. We're going to fold in a triangle form. I've done so. Folded my fabric in a triangle form. Fold with the length you want to work with. I'm working with a length of 21. Now, my armhole, round armhole is 17 divided by 2, 8.5 plus 1 inch, 9.5. So I'm going to get 9.5 here. Here's my 9.5. You can draw up a line if you want. So here is 9.5. The next thing I'll do is to get half of this 9.5. Half of 9.5 should be 4.75. So you mark it. And then the next thing, I'll come down by 1 inch. At this point of half, I'll come down by 1 inch like this. And here, I'll come down by 3 to 4 inches. Now connect it like this. There are many ways to do it. Depends on which one is easy for you. Connect it like this from the start to the 1 inch down to the 4 inches. Okay, I'm done. So the next thing, I'll take my round armhole. You can use the whole of this if you want. If you want your funnel to be very wide, you can use the whole of this. But my client wants hers to be at she wants hers to be at 11. Sorry, she wants hers to be at 15 inches. So here's it, which means I'll be connecting it like this, straight with a straight line. Just draw it off. So that's it. I'll cut it out now. That's all for my funnel sleeve. So I'll cut it off. So I've cut it out. I'm going to use this sleeve to trace on another fabric so I can get the other side of my sleeve.